Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something wild. Literally. We're analyzing this highly viral, chaotic, and just intensely motivational speech known as the Lion Mentality. Now, this isn't your standard polished corporate presentation. The source material we're breaking down today is essentially a stream of consciousness roar. It's unfiltered, it's aggressive, and it's absolutely packed with these striking larger-than-life metaphors. My goal today is to decode this fascinating, frenetic piece of audio for us, kind of organizing all that madness into a clear framework you can actually understand and use. Okay, let's dive into this. If you just read the raw transcript of this speech, it looks a bit like a garbled puzzle. It's a chaotic mix of phrases, seemingly jumping all over the place between ideas, languages, and intense metaphors. But if you look closely, out of all that chaos emerges a crystal clear philosophy. Right off the bat, the speaker tells us, live your life when you realize your family. Kind of cryptic at first glance, right? But it brilliantly sets the stage for everything that follows. The speaker is throwing us directly into their primary metaphor. They're telling us that life isn't just a casual walk in the park, it's a jungle. And to survive it, you need a profound, fundamental shift in how you view your entire purpose.
Which brings us to Section 1. Welcome to the jungle.
So, the entire philosophy of this speech completely rests on how you perceive your environment. Listen, if you think the world is safe, predictable, and forgiving, well, the speaker argues you're already losing the game. You have to truly understand the arena you're standing in before you can figure out how to conquer it. Now, the source obviously isn't talking about a literal rainforest with vines and humidity. The jungle is a conceptual, unforgiving reality. The text specifically highlights the immense pressure of navigating the next 10 years. It frames life as this intense, lifelong testing ground, where your survival, your resilience, and your mindset are constantly under siege. It represents the daily grind, the unexpected crises, and the relentless pressure to perform. In this metaphorical jungle, there are predators and there is prey. There is absolutely no middle ground. The big question the speech forces us to ask is, which one are you?
Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds. The illusion of the herd. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast. Imagine you're in this jungle. What's the biggest threat? You'd probably think it's the external predators lurking in the shadows, right? Actually, scratch that. The speaker suggests the true danger is the psychological trap of conventional societal thinking. We see this binary opposition here. On one side, you have the herd, or what the text kind of dismissively refers to as school. This represents blindly following the rules, adhering to your grandfather's outdated lessons, and staying firmly inside your comfort zone. It's the sheep-like behavior of doing exactly what everyone else is doing because, well, it feels safe. On the exact opposite end of the spectrum, you have the raw, independent, and fierce nature of the lion. The lion doesn't wait to be told what to do. The lion observes, adapts, and acts. This intense contrast between passive obedience and proactive power is the core conflict driving the entire speech.
And the text gets pretty aggressive when driving this point home. Look at these specific phrases pulled straight from the transcript. The herd and school is naked. The speaker is explicitly attacking the supposed safety of following the crowd. They argue that traditional schooling and simply walking the standard expected path are merely illusions of security. When you are deep in the jungle, all those comfortable, polite rules just fall away. They are naked. They're exposed as utterly useless against real, raw adversity. Relying on the herd mentality won't save you. It's only going to hold you back and make you a target when things get genuinely difficult.
All right, we are now entering Section 3, Motive for the Family.
This represents the awakening phase of our internal hero's journey. Think about it for a second. If the herd is actually dangerous and the jungle is completely ruthless, what actually triggers a person to break away from the crowd? What gives anyone the immense courage to stand alone? Breaking lifelong habits requires a massive psychological shift. If we sift through the scattered, frantic energy of the original transcript, a highly emotional, grounding theme emerges repeatedly. The core driving forces are the babies, the children, the realization of family. This is the undeniable fuel that powers this intense lion mindset. You don't brave the terrifying realities of the jungle just for your own ego or personal gain. You do it to protect and provide for those who depend entirely on you. The speech strongly implies that until you realize this immense, heavy responsibility, you're essentially just sleepwalking through life alongside the herd.
So, the crucial point is this awakening. It's the absolute pivot in the source's philosophy. Survival suddenly becomes about so much more than just the individual. Once you wake up to the reality that your family's well-being and future rests squarely on your shoulders, you simply can no longer afford to act like a sheep. You're forced to evolve. That deep love and profound responsibility for your family become the ultimate catalyst. It's the spark that transforms you from prey into a predator.
Which brings us to the climax of our explainer today. Section 4, Understanding the Lion Mentality. Okay, we've established the harsh reality of the jungle, the danger of the herd, and the powerful motivation of family. Now, we look at the ultimate state of being promised by the text, the final destination of this incredibly intense psychological journey. So, I want you to ask yourself, how do you survive in the jungle? When all the comforting illusions of societal safety are stripped away, when you are standing there exposed, with everything and everyone you love depending entirely on your success, what do you actually do? How do you overcome the chaos and emerge victorious?
Well, the answer, according to our source material, is pure, unfiltered experience. It isn't about memorizing arbitrary rules from a textbook, and it is certainly not about waiting for someone else's permission to act. Near the end of the text, the speaker heavily emphasizes the necessity of experiencing life head-on. A lion learns by hunting, by facing the harshness of reality directly in the field. You survive by taking relentless action, by not being afraid to make mistakes, and by gaining the undeniable, unshakable power of real-world, hands-on experience.
And this brilliantly illustrates the central, driving visual of the entire piece. Lion mentality. The white lion. The constant repetition of this specific motif throughout the source cements it as the absolute ultimate goal. The white lion, rare, distinct, and incredibly powerful, stands out entirely from the rest of the herd. It represents a state of total independence, immense capability, and an unshakable, fierce focus on protecting its own. It's the absolute embodiment of a life lived strictly on your own terms, powered by raw, lived experience rather than borrowed secondhand knowledge.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought. Really look at your own life and ask, are you following the herd, or are you truly embracing the lion mentality? Are you clinging to the comfortable illusion of safety, just doing what everyone else does? Or are you waking up to the reality of the jungle to fiercely protect what matters most to you? I really hope this breakdown has helped you see the profound, structured philosophy hidden within the wild chaos of this speech. The next time you face a massive challenge, ask yourself which mindset you're bringing to the fight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I challenge you to carry this framework with you as you navigate your own jungle.